Okay, guys, we are joined by Nathan Millard's wife, Amber. Amber, you have obviously heard the news. I'm so sorry for your loss. Your response to Nathan's body being found?
I was initially that was a blessing. I wanted Nathan's body to be located. Unfortunately, it was not the outcome that I had prayed for, but his body was found, and I was thankful for that.
How are the kids doing?
We are trying to just stay as normal on our daily routine as possible, but I don't think that Nathan and our 7-year-old daughter quite understands what's going on. But we were a blended family, and I have 2 teenager boys, and they're just devastated, heartbroken. I mean, they loved Nathan. Nathan's been in their life for almost a decade. I mean, he played a huge role and a father figure in their life.
This is our first time hearing from you. Who was Nathan?
Nathan was a friend to all. Very trustworthy, the cleanest OCD guy, but yet all he cared about was his family. He was a pleaser. He woke up every day to go to work to always better our lives. He was the best girl dad. I always told him that he was made to be a girl father. If it was makeovers to painted fingernails, he knew all of her cheers from her on the cheerleading squad this past season. He would do face masks, tea parties, whatever. It was, he was her playmate.
Have you watched the press conference that the Baton Rouge Police Department held Tuesday?
I have not personally.
Are you aware?
I do have a lot of people that's reached out to just vent about it and how disgusted they were, but I'm not there yet to where I can watch and accept this reality.
So the police department said on Tuesday that they do not believe there's anything criminal that was done and that there's no foul play. Your response to that?
It's unbelievable that they would even say such. Foul play. Do they think that he rolled himself up in carpet and plastic and was just disposed of like trash? It makes me nauseous that they can even speak that. But then again, it doesn't shock me because from the start, I feel like this was nothing but another number on their list, another criminal case, and he was never taken serious from day one on their end.
What do you mean by that? That he was just another number? What do you mean by that?
With the crime rates, I immediately, after filing the missing person, started getting told their statistics and what number and how much deaths they have in a day. And if anybody ever has to just go through the nightmare of filing a missing person report, you don't want to hear in return pretty much that go ahead and prepare yourself for the worst because we have this many deaths in a year, this many murders, these many fentanyl overdoses in a day. And pretty much for me to just accept the worst. And I asked in return, what do I need to do? I was ready to take a flight and get there. And I was pretty much told there was nothing more I could do at home, hours away, than I could in person there. And that they would be in touch and that just to, stay out of the media, stay out of unfiltered. And I didn't even know what that meant.
So obviously our name is Unfiltered with Kieran. Did they say why to stay out?
No. And I At that point, my gut told me I need to be there. So my best friend and I flew in Friday morning, and I had to get in front. I had to see who I was dealing with. And at that point, I met with the detective, or he met with me at the lobby of the hotel I was staying at. And, we introduced ourselves, and he, I feel like through this whole case, he's been wonderful. He's, we've stayed in touch. I do feel like his heart has been in the right place the whole time dealing with this.
Are you pleased with the way things have gone on as far as the missing persons case?
Absolutely not. If the first question I asked, were they going to keep Nathan's phone for evidence? No, there was no reason to. So they gave it back to the customer. And since then, he has overnighted it to the company that Nathan works for. And so immediately, why wouldn't you keep a cell phone, fingerprints, kind of track his last steps, phone calls, Lyft drivers, etc. But nope, they didn't need it. Why did they leave part of the rug, or if all of the rug, behind? Why is that not something else that should be investigation? So they've had a phone that they did not care anything about keeping for evidence. They've had a metal clip card holder wallet. They said too many hands had handled it by that point. And now a rug where we have proof his body was in, but they don't care to keep that for evidence. Well, that just doesn't make sense. And then, so days linger. I feel like the case was never really taken serious until about day 5. And at that point, I came back home to Atlanta, Georgia, and I had talked with the Texas EquiSearch team and gave them my consent and felt like they were God sent. And that's when I feel like the police department began taking it serious, when they got the pressure from outsiders.
And what's that say to you?
It's mind-boggling. It's disgusting. It's scary for the residents that live in Baton Rouge.
What do you mean by that?
The college students. It's one of the biggest universities, and that's how little they protect in the area. It's just, like I always said, I felt like Nathan was just another number on their list. Just going off of questions I would ask, as simple as, why is camera footage not being shown? Let's follow the steps. And I was either told a lot of the city cameras do not record. I was told that some of the businesses have so-called dummy cameras. So they're just fake cameras. They describe where his wallet was found. But that's one of the locations that have so-called fake cameras. One of the ATM transaction locations that show up on our checking account, they've told me that ATM does not have a camera. They don't even have cameras that are recording, or dummy cameras. It's unbelievable.
Well, then coming off of that, but then yesterday saying that downtown Baton Rouge is very safe and one of the safest places in Baton Rouge, your response to that?
Clearly it's not. People can just vanish out of nowhere, and, they can do their hardest to cover up. And, after yesterday's results, that, they're doing everything in their power to make this look like it was Nathan that asked for all of this.
And what goes through you to hear that?
It's gut-wrenching. And it makes no sense. And how they can even justify back to no foul play. Nobody humanly possible can, after they're deceased, roll themselves up and dispose of their body.
So the same day, now we know that Nathan went missing on February the 23rd. That morning, his body was dumped. The same day, we had 2 additional bodies that were found in Baton Rouge. two women's bodies. They were not connected to each other. There's no belief that all three of these bodies were dumped at the same time, or they're all connected. But in the other two cases, arrests have been made where the people have been charged with unlawful movement of human remains, disposal of human remains. But then to hear in this case that there's no foul play or nothing criminal, what does that say to you?
I can't believe it, and I want to know why.
Well, speaking of why, have you directly been able to speak to the police chief and talk to him and ask him these questions?
I have not. Half the time when you call a number, and I even had someone that brought it to my attention about the number that they posted on, to call in if you had any tips. I mean, you don't get a voicemail. It rings and rings and rings. It's just mind-boggling that, once again, back to the crime, and they have all the numbers. Why it's so hard to get someone to even answer the phone there?
Do you see yourself or your friends coming to travel to Baton Rouge?
Absolutely not. I mean, I was there for a weekend. My girlfriend and I we were literally scared of our own shadow. I mean, yes, we were outsiders again coming in, but I felt safe in the hotel, and we stayed in the same hotel that Nathan would have stayed in. But outside, absolutely not. It is not a safe, warm feeling, and I don't care to ever, or hope I don't ever have to come back to it.
If you can say anything to the Baton Rouge Police Chief, Murphy Paul, what do you say or ask?
I just feel like, clearly, if they are struggling with this investigation, then maybe they can humble themselves and ask for outside assistance, like the state police, to come in. There's so many unanswered questions that just the puzzle pieces aren't adding up.
Are you saying you want another agency to investigate?
Yes. Yes. I think that needs to be. We need to get as many eyes on this case, and clearly they need help in areas that just don't make sense to any of us.
Well, do you feel that Baton Rouge Police is dropping the ball, and that's why you're pretty much saying state police come in and investigate?
I do. I feel like we need more eyes and experience on this. I feel like the crime rate is too much for the officers in just the police department in the city. They should allow the state police to come in and do their own investigation on this case.
Has our mayor reached out to you?
No.
If you can say or ask anything of our mayor, what do you say to her?
That I would love for her to reach out. And by now, I would have thought she would have.
What do you want the people who are listening to take away of Nathan?
Nathan was a hard worker, a good guy. He loved his friends, his family. He went in all intentions to look at a project and come home. Even if Nathan was robbed, he never deserved. He would have given anything and everything to his ability to be able to save his life.
Anything else, Amber, that you would like to add?
No, I don't think so.